everybody. I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of GenX Thinks. And today, I'm going to talk about the Matrix and how we live in a matrix, but not necessarily a literal matrix like like in the movie. We live in a matrix of lies and deception. Arnis, what's up, Arnis? Glad to see you here. Oliver Rust. Good evening, Oliver. Don't scare me like that, man. What's up, buddy? And hanging with Christopher. Hey, glad to see you here, Christopher. The matrix we live in is a matrix of lies, right? It's a reality, a false reality built on lies and deception. Mike Fleisner, my boy, what's up, Mike? Crash Talks. Good evening, Crash. And the thing about a matrix, what makes it a matrix is that it's like a prison, right? And it fools people into believing that that the lies or the matrix is the truth, is reality, and then the brainwashed or the propagandized masses will defend those lies to the bitter end, right? They will fight back, just like in the movie The Matrix. They will fight back and resist your probing their lies. They don't want you asking questions or revealing the falsehood, the deception of their reality, right? The government's good, they're trying hard and all this. The Bill Gates is a loving person and he's doing all this stuff to help people with the vaccines and his Gates Foundation or whatever. And people want to believe that the world is generally a good place, and that the people who have all the power are generally good people, that they don't rob us or try to make us sick or ill or dependent on drugs or any of this stuff. They're just doing what they think is best, and that when you start questioning that, when you start pointing out all the bad things these people are actually doing, then you get resistance. You get this pushback, where they will defend the lies, they will defend the narrative. Yeah, Crash, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Yeah, yeah. That's one of the funniest things we've ever heard. But yeah, that is true. That is I don't know what you call that kind of phrase. It's a complete and utter contradiction. The government and help. Um, but we are living in a matrix, uh, quite literally. But it's a matrix built up of deception and lies, not our physical world. Raziel, what's up? Glad to see you, Roz. Our physical world, I don't believe is a matrix. It's whatever it is. But our history, everything going on, our present, everything going on in the world today. All right, Doc Shelley, be cool, buddy. Thanks for dropping by and dropping us a heads up, saying hello. Um, uh, but our matrix is built inside our minds, and our prison is inside our minds. Yeah, pray for discernment, Arnis. Yeah, for real. Yeah, I've been sent by the Goonerment to help. Yeah, Roz. Um, and those of us who are willfully, we willfully accept all this shit that's happening, and and we will defend that, right? We would defend that prison because it's inside our minds. It's part of who we are. That prison of lies and deceit is who we are fundamentally, you know, and to shatter that reality is to shatter that person's identity. You mean I'm not a Democrat? You mean I'm not a Republican? Uh, you know, um, that kind of stuff is hard for people to accept. It's hard for people to wake up and look around and see the matrix for what it truly is. It's just a bunch of ideas in our head that we've been programmed with, and in a lot of ways, the computer is just based on us. It's based on the brain. Our brain is just a meat computer, and it can be programmed. And a lot of them have been. Now, probably most of the planet has been programmed, including myself. But hopefully, uh, at the very least, I'm attempting to wake up to the programming and look around and see the matrix for what it is. That's my goal. JPC, what's up? Glad to see you. And I'm interested in finding, like-minded people who want to look around with me and say, hey, this is bullshit. Let's call bullshit on this stuff, and try to figure this stuff out together. We have so much going on. It doesn't matter who you support politically. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle you're on, what side, how you voted for the last 50 years. None of that shit matters. The matrix is the matrix, right? Raziel. Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah. Yeah, Roz is right. It's not easy. And it's not easy to completely escape from it because 20 years ago, I would have told you I was awake. Oh, yeah, I know it. Now I look back at, myself at 34 years old, and hell, I was a damn zombie, programmed zombie, compared to what I am now. So 20 years from now, what will I look back on my 54-year-old self and say? You know, will I say, hey, that kid was finally waking up, or he was still a complete zombie in 2026? You know what I mean? How will I look on myself when I'm 74? Look on myself now when back when I was only 2 years into having my podcast Genx Thanks and just getting started on my journey. So it's really difficult. Shannon, Dog Karma, what's up? Glad to see you here. Bucky, there he is. There he is. Long time no see. Does God exist or not? Yeah, in my opinion, he sure does. Jeff Seven, there he is. Jeff, what's up, Jeff? Talking about the Matrix, Jeff. Yeah, will we be real old then? Yeah. Hopefully we can still get around. Um, my grandpa, on my father's side, hell, he was still getting around good at in his 70s and 80s. So hopefully I have the genetics for it. Hopefully that'll help me. And I try to eat right as best as I can. Time with the time I have and the resources I have, I eat as best as I can. Living and active. What's up, Living? Glad to see you here. An ultimate evil at work? Yeah, possibly. I can't say that there definitely isn't an ultimate evil, but yeah, it's possible. Hurst. I would, I don't know, but it just seems to me, in my opinion, it's just human nature. We're all running around with sharp sticks in our hands, aren't us? Yeah. NC Douglas, what's up, NC? Glad to see you, man. But and as far as like we want to go to say, some people like to talk about whether the universe itself is a matrix. Uh, I have a simple theory on that. The universe is whatever God decided it would be. He made it however he wanted. If he wanted to make it a matrix, it's a matrix. If he wanted to make it a hologram, it's a hologram. If he wanted to make it a, whatever it is, that's how he made it. So I really don't give a shit about the universe, the universal matrix, uh, because that's neither here nor there. In my personal opinion, it is what it is. I mean, who gives a shit if star Zeta 3249 out there is part of the matrix? I don't give a shit. God made black holes out of whatever the hell he wanted to make them out of, I reckon. But the matrix I'm talking about is the one in our mind, the lies we've been told our entire lives for decades, since the cradle. We've been lied to. Uh, Lied to about history, lied to about politics, lied to about food, lied to go down. The list is just about endless. It probably is because they're coming up with new lies every day. Yeah, it's all fun and games until somebody pokes an eye out, Jeff. You're right about that. Theory of intelligent design, yeah. And they have, damn, I'm going to mind blank on it. But science, definitely, the deeper they go with science, the more it points to intelligent design. The entire universe is tailor made for human life. I mean, down to the atomic weight of helium and shit. You know what I mean? Nitrogen and shit. If it was just a tiny little fraction heavier, then the universe wouldn't be able to support human life. The size of the moon is perfect for if it was any smaller or any bigger, shit would go around. I mean, the list is endless of little details like that had to be so perfect for us to exist on planet Earth that that it just can't be coincidental. You know what I mean? You start drilling down into it, and it's just it'll blow your mind just how detailed planet Earth had to be. It could literally you could roll the dice for eternity and never come up with planet Earth. It's just too specific. Yeah, it was going on for decades before we were born, Hurst. Yeah, the lies, um, way before. Yeah, way before we were born. You don't think Jesus is white? Me neither. Jesus is a completely spiritual being. I don't think Jesus gives a shit about any of our color arguments, to be honest. Yeah, one last chance to stand as humans. Yep. Especially with AI coming down the pipe. Shit's about to get flaky real fast. Yeah. I believe that Jesus doesn't give a shit. He's down here laughing at us talking about this stuff, and he doesn't give a shit what any of our color is. He's probably the most colorblind being ever created, and he's probably saddened at us debating whether what color he is. When he was crucified, wasn't he 32 or 34? I forget, Hurst. I thought he was early 30s, I thought. Yeah. We made our beds and the beds are burning, Christopher. Yeah. Joe P, what's up, Joe P? Glad to see you here. 33 and a half. Okay. Hardwire, what's up, Hardwire? Glad to see you here. CBA, what's up? Haha, glad to see you, CBA. Oh, okay. The corruption of Wright-Patterson Air Base during World War II. Yeah, I've seen. That's what I thought. Hearst. I thought 32 was the one that came out in my head. Um, I've heard stuff. I watched videos, documentaries about Pearl Harbor, how everything that we thought we knew about Pearl Harbor was a lie, all kinds of shit. Now, of course, them telling us, that they're lies, that could be lies. So everybody's in stuff for profits. They make documentaries to make money. Uh, a lot of, most of the time anyway. Oh, by the way, I'm on Rumble as well, live streaming to Rumble, and I'm keeping an eye on the chat down here at Rumble. So if you have anything, if you're watching on Rumble, you can comment and I'll respond. Well, yeah, I don't think he cares. Well, he cares about us, yeah, but I don't think he cares what color we are. Um, I don't think that comes into account. Uh, I don't think that he judges us on that at all. Uh, I just can't wrap my mind around that. Michelle, what's up, Michelle? Oh, okay. One of those days, huh, Michelle? Well, hopefully it ends up better than it began. I get born on December 25th. That's awesome. Hanging with Christopher. Yeah, yeah. Jesus was a Jew, from what I understand. South Side. Yeah, his message does. Yeah, and that's what I take mostly, or getting off into religion again, and that's great. I mean, we could talk about religion all we want, um, but one thing, if we're going to talk about religion some more, I want to make one thing clear. Uh, when I state my views on religion, specifically organized religion, I'm not trying to convince anybody to abandon organized religion or anything. That is not my goal. Organized religion has its place. It is necessary for a lot of people, I believe. Okay? It's good in most ways. But there are some of us who just do not organize well. There are some of us who do not fit well into organizations like that. There are some of us who must ask questions outside the organization's sphere of knowledge, and we must question things. For those people, and I am one of them, definitely. For those people, I would just like to say that organized religion isn't the only way to God. All right. If you found God through organized religion, hey, wonderful, fantastic. I'm not trying to change your mind on that. But if you're not religious or not spiritual of any kind, and you question, then I'm here to tell you that you can very much and very successfully find a relationship with God without the help of organized religion. You don't need that. Um, So there's still hope. Okay. That is my entire message. I'm not trying to get anybody to abandon anything that they've, or disparage anybody's beliefs or anything. I'm just sharing my own. Yeah, they sell Mad Dog 2020 Douglas. Where you see that right there, dude? I just bought that on last Saturday. I had to go all over the place to find it. Yeah, ended up at a little mom and pop. Well, what used to be mom and pop now is an Indian liquor store. And I told the dude, he doesn't hardly speak English, and I told him I wanted some Mad Dog 2020. He had no idea what the hell I was talking about. Uh, but he took me back to some other stuff that started with MD or whatever. I said, no, that's not it, dude. So I just kept looking around and I found it. Yeah. So that's up on the nostalgia shelf. Yeah, you said very naughty things about God. Yeah, me and God. I've had a love-hate relationship with God for a lot of my past until, for the last 15, 20 years, I finally came around and started figuring stuff out for myself. But yeah, yes, yeah, and I still Hurst, even though like, and but for those of you who might be new, um, even though I don't follow organized religion myself, I still consider myself a Christian. I try my best to follow the words of Christ, uh, Jesus. Every word that came out of his mouth was the truth, in my opinion. Now, all the rest of the stuff that's in books and any book you want anywhere else people wrote, I don't know. But the words Jesus spoke out of his mouth, and often they were parables and stuff, they were the truth, and uh, that's what I try to follow. So, and basically, in a nutshell, that's where I'm at with that. Auto Crosswind, what's up? Yeah, yeah, very open minded to a fault, and that's kind of what I am in a way too. Crosswind, uh, and I don't want to uh, disparage anybody's beliefs or anything. Feel free to believe whatever you want. And these kind of things, these issues with God and whether he exists or not, I mean, we cannot prove this. We cannot prove it. All we can do is keep arguing and keep hating each other, okay? Because there is no proof. That is the essence of the test, is that there is no proof. So it's 100% based on faith. You know what I mean? That's why that's the test. Do you have faith? Do you have enough faith to do God's will? Basically, you know what I mean. Uh, so there is no proving. There is no proof. We can argue and argue and argue and get mad at each other and shit and hurt each other's feelings and try to embarrass each other and prove each other wrong and all this stuff. But it's not going to do any good. Um, so anybody, I'm just, I'm really Gen X. Nobody can hurt my feelings. I don't give a shit what anybody says about what I believe. I believe what I believe. I came to it. It's been a long, hard road to get me here. You know what I mean? I fought long, hard battles to get to where I am today and have the belief system that I do have. Uh, so, somebody want to try to insult me because of what I believe or make fun of it or whatever. I literally do not give a shit. But for those of us who are just like to share, with each other and share our wisdom and our life experiences, that's where I'm at. We can all gain wisdom from each other. Jesus did create everything, and he holds things together by the power of his might. Oh, speaking of this, Ezekiel, for those of you who were asking the other day, Ezekiel is I emailed him, and he emailed me back, and he's doing good. He's on a sabbatical or something. Shit. It's been a couple of days ago. I forgot to tell y'all right the same day he emailed me back. So now I've forgotten his exact words. But he's taking some time off. And he's getting closer to God and praying and stuff and something. So, but he said to tell all of y'all hi, and he'd be back, and he's doing good and everything. so, so those of y'all who are asking about Ezekiel, he's doing good. He's all right. Better than good. He's doing great. Yeah, yeah, living. Yeah, yeah. But it's great to have these discussions. It's great to, if for nothing else, living to show the rest of the world to be an example for other people that we can have these conversations and be civil to each other, even though we disagree on certain points, right? Yeah, Mike. Yeah, we are blessed, dude. We are blessed. You came from a mixed religion household, Shannon. Me too, I guess. My dad just wasn't religious at all. I mean, at all. And then my mom was kind of Southern Baptist, and we went to church every once in a while, not any kind of regular basis. Yeah, Zeke's still doing good. Yep, he'll be back. Collecting those dry bones. Yeah, RR, what's up? Yeah, yeah, a little solitude time is good. So he's getting his mind right, and he's getting right with God, which everybody should take a little time to do once in a while, in my humble opinion. Yeah, yeah, Douglas. Yep, God is like the air you breathe. You don't see it, but He's there. Yeah, Hurst. Yep, God is like gravity. You can't see it, but it affects everything. And in a way, He is both, literally. So yeah, if we all agreed on everything, RR, it'd be quite boring. Yeah, yeah, you're right about that. But as the host of Gen X Thinks, I don't want to have a religious. Well, that's not correct. I don't want to force a religious conversation every single episode. But if y'all want to talk about it, that's fine. That's great. I'm completely open to it. Uh, because especially at our age now, and we're not knocking on heaven's door right now. We're not that old, but at our age, we've lived life, so we've experienced a lot of stuff. So we can look back and with better understanding, and look around with better understanding, and evaluate things, you know, with an adult mind. When you're a kid, it's different. Uh, you're kind of, well, just brainwashed, brainwashed by what religion your parents were, brainwashed by whatever. So by the media, by the propaganda, we're brainwashed as children, and we grow up, and you kind of look around at some point, and you say, okay, now what I'm in is real. This is the way. This is okay. Or you look around and you say, hey, it's all, everything's messed up. So my point in this kind of rambling dialogue here is that we're old enough now that we have wisdom, and that we can share experiences with each other, but we're not so old that we're close to death and we're fearing death, and we think, I'm 85 and I'm going to be seeing St. Peter tomorrow. You know what I mean? Kind of like there are no atheists in the foxhole, right? There are no atheists, 99-year-old atheists. You know what I'm saying? They're all praying to God every day they wake up. So we're not that old yet, but still we're old enough to have some wisdom and to enlighten each other. Yeah, understanding that disagreement is not a capital offense. Living, yeah. That, I think that's so important in this day and age, living and active, so important. It's something somehow we have lost total understanding of. What if God smoked cannabis? Baptized Catholic? Okay. Churches kicked you out when you tried to go? He believed that Jesus was the Christian Messiah? Okay. You out of here, Bucky? Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, we never know when our number's going to be called, but um, my point is we're not at that age. We're not senior citizens yet. So we're in the middle, you know. Um, yeah, we're not elderly, Christopher. Yeah. So that's my point, that we're not to the age where we're thinking about, every day could be our last. We're still young enough to, I am anyway. I'm still, thinking about years ahead in the future and still trying to plan and prepare for years into the future. Now, when I'm 95, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm not going to give a shit. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest. I'm not going to give. Who gives a shit? When you're 95. So I think you have a different perspective um, when you're that old. Oh, okay. 32. Yeah, that's so young. Yeah, yeah. Our death day passes by unnoticed. Yeah, yeah. I think that way too sometimes, Roz. You're all set, Christopher. Yeah, well, yeah. In dog years, we're ancient. For an oak tree, we're just saplings. For human beings, we're just right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're not geriatrics yet. So I think we still we're we're at just the right age, I think, to be discussing these things with a clear mind. We're not so young that we're muddled with all of the brainwashing as children. We're not still waking up to that. Hopefully we've woken up to a lot of that. MJ, what's up, MJ? Yeah, we have critical thinking. Yeah, exactly. Shannon, when you're 95, you eat the extra or the bacon cheeseburger with an extra beer. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So we're still trying to eat healthy. We're still uh, um, kind of at that age, because I question myself, is the reason I say this about being old. I question myself. Am I getting closer to God because I fear death? I question myself on this. Okay. And y'all need this insight to see what kind of where I'm coming from now. So I question myself. Is this why I'm getting closer to God? Is this why I suddenly feel like I want to be to pray more and to be closer to God and to do God's will? Is this why I'm doing this? Because I'm afraid of dying? Am I just being a hypocrite? Am I just, being selfish and, trying to wrap up the last years of my life, so that I'll go to heaven or some shit like that? Or is this real? Is this what I'm doing? Is it real? And I question myself in this. So that's my point. I don't believe we're at an age where we're being falsely spiritual like we would in a foxhole or at the age of 95, just because it's the last ditch effort. Oh, I take Jesus for my Lord and Savior just moments before we die. You know what I mean? Am I getting my point across now? Uh, Dead wolf. Yeah, yeah. I know I damn sure do, MJ. Wake up and go to work every day. Yeah, we're still trying to figure it out, Christopher. Pizza rolls. Yeah. French bread pizza? I don't think I've ever had that. Yeah, our whole lives we've tempted death. So, yeah, that's another thing, too. So, that's another mark on the, I'm not being existential. I'm not, worried about death because my whole life I've tempted death. So I, I think what I'm doing is real, but I have to question myself. I have to verify to myself that what I'm doing is real. Um, yeah. Oh, that's wisdom right there. God is the rewarder of those who seek him. If you have these thoughts, pursue him. You'll find the answers you seek. Yeah. Yep. Oh, okay. That I think everyone should do that, MJ, to one degree or another. Cut out as much of that crap as we can. Phoenix. Kirchhoff. What's up, Phoenix? A year later, to ask for my apology about Trump. Oh, I'm on no, I still don't. I've got a lot of questions about him, but he's done some shit I disagree with. But he's always done some shit I disagree with. But he's still doing a lot of shit I agree with. So, uh, no, um, but yeah, at the same time, I don't think anyone is to be trusted completely. I never I don't think I've ever said that I expected the guy to be perfect and be some kind of savior or anything. He has made me question a lot more than I thought he would. I'll admit that. Yeah, yeah. God ain't in a rush to see us. Faith is far more personal than your Russian Orthodox upbringing. Dead Wolf Resistance. What do you mean? Is YouTube broken? Does anyone know what happened? What happened, Dead Wolf? Church, Christ Peter. I joined the Catholic Church, not British churches of King James. Okay. Lost your religion but gained your faith, Christopher. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Oh, okay. YouTube was acting weird. I thought you meant something else was acting weird. Yeah. Yeah, Mem J, yeah, you're right. Yeah, at least the boomers got to retire. None of the rest of us won't. Covering the yeah, covering this up isn't the worst thing possible. What are you talking about? Epstein? Yeah. Well, yeah. But Biden did the same damn thing. Biden hid the shit for 4 years. So, yeah, Trump is just as guilty as Biden or anybody else. All the other people that covered it up, they're all just as guilty. Democrats, Republicans, every son of a bitch that covered it up. Yeah. Nobody knows how many tomorrows we have. Yeah, Oliver. Oh, YouTube is messing up right now, D-Bron? Hey, D-Bron, what's up? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just streaming. It's not giving me any bad uh, signals on my stream. Oh, okay. Main feed is gone. Only subscriptions are showing up. Huh. All right, Jethro. What's up, Jethro? Glad to see you here. Jethronius Bron Brunloey. That's a killer handle. That's a hard one to pronounce. A damn tongue twister, that's for sure. Yeah, MJ, they're all just as guilty. Um, yeah, Trump covering that shit up is horrible. Yeah, uh, Pam Bondi, I've been on here. So you just come back after a year. I've been talking about that shit for months now, since way before they brought it up because I called him out for it. Who was that said that? Phoenix. Yeah, I've been calling him out for that shit for months. Go back and watch my other videos. This isn't something new. I've been calling Trump out on that shit for months now. Uh, with Pam Bondi and that douchebag Cash Patel backtracking, nothing to see here. Yeah, they're all lying scumbags, and that's just the truth. But I voted for Trump, but I'm not going to stick by and say cover up the pedophiles, hide the pedophiles because I voted for Trump. Yeah, come on. Trump needs to be. If I hindered an investigation and hid criminals, I would be in prison. So not only do the pedophiles deserve to be in prison, everyone who hid that information from the law needs to be in prison, all the way up to the top. But none of them will be. None of them. None of them will be punished. The only time they will be punished, the only way they will be punished is people like me saying that they should go to prison. Uh, Bongino threatened to quit. Keith Bongino threatened to quit the first time that the whole Epstein stuff blew up, and he stuck around. He stuck around for another year. He finally quit. Okay, but I lost a lot of respect for that dude for sticking around because he knew what was up. Shit, you should replace her, Mike. Anybody would do a better job than her. Yeah, MJ. Yeah, we're gonna go along with that bullshit, dude. Eden, what's up, Eden? Yeah, yeah, Eden. Yep, it's hard being lied to night after night, year after year, decade after decade. Eden, just lie after lie, cover up and conspiracy. They can have their cover ups and their conspiracies and shit, but the hell you say if you have if you're a conspiracy theorist trying to figure out their conspiracies, now you're a psycho. You're some kind of lunatic. Yeah, done with the charade, Christopher. Yeah, no accountability, no justice. RR. Yeah, MJ, they both do. They both suck. Before, I remember specifically, they can try to Mandela affect me on this shit if they want to, but Pam Bondi and Cash Patel, they were blowing that trumpet on Epstein before the election. We're gonna bring those people to justice and all this shit. As soon as the election happened, Pam Bondi came out and said she had a stack of paperwork on her desk like that, and it was taking time to go through it all. The next interview she gave a few months later, she said there was no evidence, there was no stack of paperwork. We were all crazy. There was, I don't know what you're talking about. There was no evidence. There was no paperwork. There's nothing to see here. So, yeah, she lied right to our faces. Cash Patel went on Joe Rogan and lied right to our faces. Go back and watch that episode of Joe Rogan and Cash Patel. See what he says. And then compare that to what's been the information that's been released. And then wonder why Trump went along with all that shit. So I wash my hands of all that shit. I'm with Laic, just another guy in the woods. They're not going to get another second of my attention. Yeah, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Oh, YouTube quit working? All right. Yeah, YouTube gets squirrely once in a while. Custom aluminum hat boutique. Yeah, living. You'd probably make a killing. Conspiracy researcher. Yeah. Yeah, Eden, me neither. Yeah, yeah, MJ. And it's been going on for decades. They've got us in such debt. Not only that, that's not the only way you're being robbed. You're being robbed through inflation because it's a double, right? Because they borrow all that money to give out to other countries, right? And so, but they borrow more money than we have. So, and creation of all this currency, and all of it's digital now, like only 8% of our currency now is actually cash money anymore. But by creating all this currency, they devalue our dollar, which is inflation. So we're taxed twice through taxes directly and then through inflation, where they devalue our dollar. So we're being robbed coming and going both ways. Yeah, it's complete and total bullshit. Yeah, Hearst isn't on the Epstein file, so yeah, you got my vote, Hearst. Yeah, that's the question. And me and Laic, it's Laic's idea really, is a lazy revolution. Just don't give them our attention anymore. Don't watch a second of their shit. Don't pay attention to them anymore. Do not vote for them. Ridicule them if anything. Make it uncomfortable to be a politician. Make them laughing stock. Make people, the last thing you want to be is a damn politician. Make them shunned. Make them lepers, social lepers. That's what we do. Really? All right. You turned him down, living? Yeah, accountability, Oliver. Me too. Until that, but we're not going to see that. I mean, come on. We know we're not going to see. I am very surprised that they gave out the information that they gave. I thought it would all be redacted, and they redacted a lot of it. But I thought it would all be redacted. I didn't think they'd tell us anything, so I was wrong about that. Very surprised that they gave us anything. But I know, I bet everything that there will be no justice. No one, no real justice. Okay, they might throw up a sacrificial lamb to appease the public. Some poor bastard, that just happened to send an email type the wrong, hit the wrong button, in the email address and accidentally sent an email. And he was talking about a car or something. You know what I mean? but it went to Jeffrey Epstein instead of Jeffrey Epstein. You know what I'm saying? Some shit like that, and they'll just crucify that poor son of a bitch. But yeah, the big hitters up there, they're not gonna see any justice. We're not gonna see any justice. Be cool or be cast out. Yeah, still not making more than you did as a kid in 1983. Yeah, yeah, because everything, dude. A brand new Camaro was $3,200 in the late 70s. You know, in the 70s anyway. Um, and now, 40, 50, 60 grand. Come on. They cost more than houses did back then. You'd get a decent house for 15 grand back then. You can't even get a decent car for 15 grand now. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, 300 a week in 1983 is worth 1,500 in 2026. Yeah, hold them all accountable, MJ. Yeah, every last one of them. And that's the only thing I'll accept. I mean, personally, that's bottom line. If we don't see that, I mean, across the board, um, yeah, that's just proof that it's all corrupt. It's all garbage. Uh, that just cements that's the last nail in the coffin of of any kind of decency in the system. You know what I mean? Which I don't believe there is anyway. But to me, that would be absolute proof. Oh, paper literally grows on trees. Yeah. Oh, chat's locked up, Hearst. Yeah. And that's inflation. Yeah. A long neck and a headache. Yeah. Yeah. And that's inflation. Um, that's all it is. We could have kept our currency at that value. It could have stayed rock steady, but they didn't want it to. They kept borrowing more and more and more money, and it's the American people who have to foot the bill, right? Oh yeah, yeah, Christopher. At least Gen X. I've said this before. At least Gen X had hope, even if it was false hope. At least we have hope. Gen Z, even maybe younger millennials than the youngest kids, Gen Alpha, I guess they're calling them or whatever. They have none. Come on, growing up in this world now with uh, with it coming out that the entire system they're all pedophiles and shit. Come on, at least we didn't have to live through that. Yeah, convert it to silver. Yeah, Jethro. Yeah, no, I agree, dude. Common sense is radicalization. Yeah, Hurst. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, they keep borrowing and never intended to pay it back. Now it's such a huge debt, RR, that it can't be paid back. It'll never be paid back. The only thing it can do is collapse. No, eventually the tent's going to come down on the circus. That's the only outcome that can happen now. We can't pay that shit back. Come on. We'd have to start having a birth rate of trillions of people a year to even have a shot at paying it back. Right now, just from what I understand, just all of our taxes just are not enough to cover the interest on the loan, the 37 trillion loan, and the interest on the loan is larger than the defense budget. Yeah, just the interest on the loan is larger than the annual defense budget. So yeah, we're past the point of no return. We were a long time ago, but there's nothing for our future except either hardcore pain to make it right, uh, or collapse, financial collapse. And that's just common sense. That's just the truth. I'm not trying to scare anybody or anything. Those are the two outcomes. It might not happen in our lifetimes, right? It might 150 years from now, it might finally fall down in on itself. Yeah, yeah. Boomers wrote rubber checks. Yeah, yeah, Christopher. Yeah, Oliver. Your military pay comes from taxpayers, and then it gets taxed again. Yep. Taxing taxes. Yeah, it's despicable, Oliver. It's despicable. Oh, when they, okay. I don't know what kind of standard they're going to go off of now. I think they're going to try to roll us into a digital currency and digital ID. Yeah, I have a feeling that that's going to happen too, Eden. Where they're going to grow up. They're kids. The only thing is that they've got a lot bigger voice than we did. Okay, that with the internet. So they're saying a bunch of dumb kid shit, and everyone can hear them. They can go viral, and I can see some kind of viral video get talked about, and then I can get on here and talk about how dumb Gen Z is and all that. You know what I mean? Where back when we were kids, all of our shit was hidden. There was no viral anything. So I have faith in Gen Z. Honestly, I think they've got a lot more um, going for them than we give them credit for, and I think that'll come about. I think that'll come through as they become adults. I don't think they're millennials or boomers. I think they're more down to earth than that. Now, most of them. 68 Mustang fastback. Yeah, Road Warrior shit. Hell yeah. Yeah, I want an electric Ford Ranger is what I want, or maybe a Chevy S10 or something. Maybe the old Chevy Love would be cool. A small truck like that, electric. Then even after the zombies and all that stuff, all I need is the sunshine. Give me some good solar power. The sunshine, I could charge my shit. Yeah, wages are only worth 20%. The money's only worth 2%. Yeah. Oh yeah, living that would suck, dude. Yeah. Yeah, we were undercover, Mike. 007. Yeah. Chaz, what's up, Chaz? Glad to see you here, man. You got an 85 Mustang? Was that the 5.0, Mike? Yeah, yeah, Christopher. Yeah, that's one good thing about Florida. We got plenty of sun. What's not how it works, Hurst? To what are you referring? A big diesel truck, Roz? Oh yeah, living. I still do. Yeah, I still do. From tractors to sports cars, pickup trucks, dump trucks, army vehicles, deuce and a halfs, 5 tons, Humvees. Yeah, I've driven all kinds of shit. Oh, I even drove the 113, the armor personnel carrier. Yeah, I love driving shit. Your neighbor's son failed driving written twice. Oh, be better off with diesel in the apocalypse? Hell, diesel would be harder to make than sunshine. It seems to me. No, rechargeable car battery. Biodiesel's easy enough. Maybe I gotta look into that biodiesel some more then. But hell, the sun just comes right out of the sky. The solar won't generate the maps to charge lithium battery. I know a guy with solar and it charges his batteries. Your dog loves the diesel, huh? Oh yeah, range and power. Rusty Doob, what's up, Rusty? Straight out of Canada. Yeah, well, yeah, up north, yeah, yeah, you'd be stuck in the winter. You can make biodiesel out of oil, right? Oh, amps. Won't generate enough amps. Uh, I know a guy who shit runs his whole two households off of one solar setup, and he could have a solar car too, a battery operated car. Um, so I don't understand that. I mean, heating, electrical, cooking, and all that stuff. It's all off of solar. Well, yeah, yeah. If they weren't making solar panels, yeah, that would make sense. They'd stop making solar panels after the apocalypse. So, yeah, I didn't think about that, Roz. Your car is diesel. You get weird looks when you pull up to the diesel pump. Yeah, straight vegetable oil works. Just heat it pretty much. Okay. That's what Electronic Music Underground was saying. Just put vegetable oil in your gas tank. Okay. All right. I'll have to look into that some more. Maybe that's all I need is a damn little diesel pickup. This dude ain't right. How many times that dude saved your ass? Daniel, what's up, Daniel? Oh, a lot of silver and other heavy metals. One hailstorm. Yeah, well, down here we don't get a lot of hail. We haven't had any hail and shit, and as far back as I can remember, I've never seen a hailstorm around here. Soybean oil. Okay, Mike. Well, I'm gonna look into the biodiesel thing. Maybe that's the way I should go. Maybe it might even be um, less expensive to get a biodiesel little pickup set up than an electric one. Yeah, the ones that think outside of regulation that keep people alive, and the system when the system becomes irrelevant. Yeah, living. Yeah, you and Bucky are both right. Erica, what's up, Erica? All right, Roz. I read an article about that years ago, Raziel, about the used fryer oil, but they were saying you had to do something to it, some kind of thing, and they weren't saying that you could just put it right in your gas tank and just burn that shit as fuel. They were saying you had to process it somehow to make biodiesel. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do some research on that. You and Hurst have got me convinced. Okay, thank you, Hurst. Yeah, we get heavy winds. Yeah, yeah, that's a damn sure. Yep, it is the end. It is the end, my friend. Moving from Palm Bay, Florida to North Carolina. The weather is crazy. Yeah. Oh, an older VW Jetta. It still comes in a diesel option. Okay. Got to filter it, Hurst. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to look into that shit. I'm going to start doing research on that stuff then. All right, everybody. We covered a wide range of topics today. And I really enjoy it when we have these kind of conversations, these live streams like this, where we cover a lot of topics. Some of you, might criticize me for jumping around, not staying focused on one single topic. But what can I say? My mind jumps around like a damn one of those Mexican jumping beans, and I get off track pretty easy. But yeah. So what did we talk about? I started off talking about the Matrix and shit, and we got into religion and politics and how it's all full of shit with the Epstein and Pam Bondi and Cash Patel and all that shit. Then we went off into solar versus biodiesel, and Hearst said some pretty pretty upsetting things to me about my solar plans. He hurt my feelings. Now I got to go find a safe space and take some Ritalin or something. take some I don't know what my therapist actually prescribed me this month. So I'm gonna go take something to get over all the harsh things that her said to me about my solar plans. So, but thank you all for playing devil's advocate, even about my solar shit, my damn diehard solar plans. Now I got to look into biodiesel, so I will do that. Thank you very much, and I'll say goodbye to Living and Active, Erica, Joe P, Raziel, Mike Fleisner, my boy, Mr. Hurst. Thanks again, Hurst. RR, Jeff 7, hanging with Christopher, Living and Active, Bucky. What's up, Bucky? Daniel Looney, Rusty Doob out of the great North Canada, the 51st state. Did I say Erica already? I think I did. Shannon, Douglas. What's up, Douglas? Goodbye. Thank you for your support, Douglas. Raziel. I already said Hurst. Who else we got here? Let's see. Jethro. Chaz. What's up, Chaz? Rusty. I already said Rusty Doob out of Canada. Well, where's Wayne Beatty? Speaking of, that's New Zealand, but still. I don't know why Canada reminded me of New Zealand, but still, where's my boy Wayne at? Joe P. Dog Karma. Did I say RR already? I'm sure I did. RR deserves two goodbyes, though. Eden. MJ. Can't forget MJ. Jeff 7. All right. Dead Wolf was here. Hell yeah, Dead Wolf was here. Keith Peterson was here. D. Braun was here. Goodbye, D. Braun. Phoenix. With his stuff about Trump and the Epstein files. That's what kicked that whole subject off. Thank you, Phoenix. All right. I think I got everybody. If I missed your name, I apologize. I try to say goodbye to everyone. Old man, what's up, old man? Yeah, I'll see you in the morning, old man. Otto Crosswind. I didn't say Otto Crosswind. Goodbye, Otto. Y'all have a great evening. thank you for hanging out with me and talking about, just the truth and poking at the matrix with me. I appreciate it. All right. So let's see, who are we going to dedicate the spiel to? Bucky's back. We'll dedicate the spiel to Bucky. Bucky, this spiel's for you, buddy. I appreciate it. All right. You have a great evening. Thanks for hanging out with us. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, it's only $2.99 a month, and I'll put that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. But I really appreciate all the support from the members out there. This is the members banner here, and I really appreciate these people. They support the channel directly through memberships, and it helps out a lot, so thank you very much to all the members. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Gen X things and Gen X branded stuff, t-shirts, coffee mug stickers, hoodies, all kinds of stuff. But I'll leave that link down in the description too for any of you who are interested. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Things, please put those down in the comments, or you can email us, and the email is genxthings@gmail.com. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.